Hi everyone, this is a video on how to install a dash cam on the BYD SHARK. So it's a bit disappointing that the SHARK doesn't come with a dash cam as standard, given the fact that it has so many cameras in this car. And likewise, if you consider looking at most of the, well, all the Teslas, they have a dash cam in there as standard. So BYD, sort it out. Okay, so I'm using the Xiaomi Dashcam A800S. I've used these before. They're a good camera. I've got a hardwiring kit, and then there's the memory card. So this is what I'm going to put in. Okay, so I have done a bit of prep work here. I have, as you can see, I've pulled this off. It's dangling down, ready to run some of the cables around the top here. So I'm going to run them around the top, and then I'm going to run them around here, just down, and then I'm going to run them down the section here and into here where the fuse box is. So, key thing you want to be aware of when you're trying to get this off, it's held by two clips here, and exactly the same at the other side. So, if you have a look at this, you can see the little clips. Hope that's helpful in some way. You can see those clips there. That's what they look like. So when you're doing it, when you are taking this thing off, you literally just apply pressure at the top and at the bottom with a little plastic spudgeon tool. So I did it at the top first, clicked it out the top, and then clicked it out the bottom, and then went to the other side and clicked out the top and the bottom. So when you first do it, it comes off with a bit of a snap, because again, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get it out of that clip there and this clip here. So when you're doing it, when you're pushing it, you're trying to push it out this way. It snaps out, and then that comes off. So that'll be far easier now for me to run the wires around the top here. So as you can see, I've taken the panel off here. This is the panel that went on there. So if you want to look at that panel, that's what it looks like. You can see the 5 clips that are holding it in place. And you can see those little things at the end there, at the other side, which just go into the groove. So when you're pulling this off, I started at the top, just got again the spudgeon tool, got it in, pushed it in there, and it pulled it out easy, pulled the top one, and then just slowly pull all the other ones out. Pretty simple. Okay, the next thing as well is that gives you access to your fuses in there, this is where you're going to be running the wires. So as you can see, that's your fuse box in there. And if you are just wanting to access it through this hole here, it's really limited space. So what you need to do is just take this bottom panel off here. Now you can see the bottom panel, it's held in by, again, all these little clips here. 1, 2, 3. There's 1, 2, 3 down there. So there's 6 in total there, and it's also attached to another paneling there, which looks like in order to take it off you have to take some screws out first. So I'm just going to leave that there. But what I did do is I did disconnect the button for the fuel cap, so that I can just push it down. I'll leave those ones on, just keep it hanging there, and then that'll give me lots of room to access the fuses in there. So you will find when you look in here that they have kindly left you a piece of paper which is just underneath the fuses, and that's the fuse diagram. Get the piece of paper out. Okay, so when I've wired it up, I'm going to wire the accessory into this spare fuse area here, and then I'm going to wire the constant power into this fuse here at the top here. So that one's constant power, and this one over here for the accessory, which you can see in there, that's the blank space, middle row for the accessory, and top left for the constant power. Okay, so guys, to get your wiring down the back of here, you want to take this thing off. so that it gives you a little bit more space to run your wires down the side here. So these aren't too bad to get off. You want to get this little plastic thing off here. What I do to get these off is I just got like a little Stanley knife blade and put it around the back of it, and then got this little tool at the same time to then pull it up. As soon as you pull it up, you can then pull these little clips off. So there's the little clips. Pretty straightforward. Keep them to one side. So I've done one. Just need to do the other one here. You want to do this carefully so that you don't mark it. So you do, as I did there, just shoved it in. Once you've shoved it in, get this little tool around the back and it pulls off. Easy as that. Okay, so now we want to just use an 8mm socket to get these bolts off. There we go. And that's taken off. When you do that, you'll now see that this piece of trim has got a lot more flex in it, so you'll be able to take this off and run your wires down. Okay, so we want to take this piece off here, which is going to make it easier for us to get this paneling out. So to take this off, we want to get the rubber out the way. So if you start in the corner here, pull it down, and that comes off nice and easy. Now that gives a bit of room to get this thing off. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece of paneling off here. Get my little trim removal tool. Now there's a number of clips. I think there's a clip here, 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 and here. Just a few of them around. Now there's a piece of plastic behind as well, so you've got to get in between the two. So get this tool and just pull it apart. You'll feel it unclip. There you go, you had it then. And there's one more at the bottom there. So do that. And then this should clip out. There we go. A bit tight, but that clipped out. So you can see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clips, and then you can see that little bit of the top which goes in there. So you need to pull it out. There you go, and that's what it looks like. Okay, so we now want to take just this piece off here. There's a clip at the top here, and I think there's a clip at the bottom. So we'll just pull this piece here. And there you go, it clips out here. So I've just pulled it there. I reckon that's probably enough. That'll be enough for me to, enough space there for me to run my wires. So I think I'm just oh, in fact, no, that's super easy. That comes off so easy, actually. So that's what the piece of paneling looks like when you take it off. You can see the clip there in the middle, and the clip, oh, there isn't even a clip at the bottom, there's just those two clips. Okay, so we've got to run the hardwiring kit, the hardwiring wire, literally from here, this is where I'm going to be putting the dash cam. I've got to run the wire all the way across around the back of this paneling here, and then all the way across here, and then down here. Make sure I'll stay away from the side curtain airbag, and then drop it down here. So I'll start doing that now. It's feeling pretty good. It's given me enough space there. I'll run it around here. What I think I'm going to do, there's another wire here, so I'm going to get some zip ties and I'll zip tie this on here to keep it nice and tidy for the time being. Just get it down. Okay, so I need to get this wire nice and tidily done around the back, fed thread through here to find the way through there somehow, so let's play around. So here we go, the wires come through. Always handy to use one of these plastic snakes, I think they call them. Really helpful. Really helpful to pull wires down in areas. So we've got the wire through. It's all ready and in the right place in order to connect all the electrics up. So we'll do that. What we need to do first is we need to connect the wire taps onto these wires. We don't want to muck around and connect these directly in without having wire fuse taps on them. So here are the fuse taps. Here's one of the fuse taps that I've got, so we'll be connecting these together, and that's what's going to be tapping in. Okay, now I've got the wire in place here. I can get all of these plastic, so I can get some of these plastic pieces back in place. Okay, so I am going to just zip tie these wires here just to keep it nice and tidy. It's always nice doing a nice clean job. Zip ties on it, and that also makes sure that this wire never moves down and accidentally starts interfering with the airbags. Okay, so let's run it in. Put one down. There we go. Cut off the excess in a moment. Get another one down the bottom. And as I say, this way it's just going to be super tidy, this job. Super tidy, super safe. Wire is not going to impact anything. And that is what we want. Alright, so that's pretty much there. Cut these ends off. There we go. It's not going to interfere with anything now. So we can now get this panelling back on. It's always fiddly pushing these back in, figuring out where they're supposed to go. Okay, that looks like it is in. Okay, if we just get this handle back on. It's tight. That's tight as well. There we go. That looks fine. I'll get these little caps back on. Nice. Put that back on. Okay, get these trim pieces back on. Okay, so time to wire these wires. Connect this little wire tap up. So I'll shove it in this. Okay, so I've now got all the wires ready, all the constant live, the accessory, so that's going to power it as soon as the engine's turned on, and then that's just the negative. So the wire taps are ready to plug in. Just need to put some fuses in them, and likewise just need to find a negative point to bolt that onto the car. Okay, so first job is to start doing these wires now. I can start putting them in place. I'm going to do the negative one first. I'm going to be putting the negative point to that bolt there. You can see where it is. Got perfect access here, so it just needs loosening off. Loosening off. And then all I need to do is literally put this wire behind it. It now just needs, that bolt just needs tightening up. And there we go, all tightened up perfectly. So that is solidly in place. That is not going anywhere now. And then time to now just, let's put the other wires in place as well. Let's put the fuse taps in place. Okay, so I'm going to start plugging these in now. I'm going to use 7.5 amp fuses in them. Remember these fuse taps when you're doing them, your new circuit is the top one there, so I'll put that 7.5 amp fuse in it, squish it in there. These are tight. Push that in and do exactly the same for the other one. There we go, that one's in nicely. Okay, and then when I plug these in, the outside here is, the outside there, if you can see, is where the 12 volts come in. So on this fuse box, you can see it's on the right hand side, so I'm going to do them this way. So both of them doing this way. So I'll plug them in a second. Okay, so I'm going to be plugging the constant fuse into that top one there. So I'm just going to take that fuse out. So it's the very, very top one. I'll use this in, put this back in the fuse tap, and then the accessory is this one here. So I'm going to be plugging that one in there. Okay, let's plug these in. This is the accessory one. So plug that in. That side there. And let's plug the, okay, now let's plug the constant into the one at the top there. So there we have it, the constant into the top one and the accessory wire, see here, into that middle one. Okay, now let's just, now that's all plugged in, let's tidy all these wires up. We don't want these wires hanging down, being a complete mess. So we'll zip tie all of these together, just to keep them in a nice little bunch. So I've got a zip tie. There we go. Zip tie that there. And I'll use another zip tie just to hang it in place in there around the back so it's nice and tidy. So there we go, I've just put a zip tie around there. That'll hold it in place and just keep them there. So yeah, they'll be hanging from there, but they'll just be nicely tidy on the side. So now I can put all this, plug this back in and push all this back in together, and that area is now finished. Nice and clean. Perfect, those wires are now covered up. Okay, so the wire is now all in place for the dash cam there. I now need to run the wire for the rear cam. So I'm going to be running the rear dash cam from here all the way along here, and then I'm going to somehow get it across here, through there. I'm going to run it all the way through here, pull these wires down, and you can see I've got to squeeze it in between here. Got to be careful to make sure I'm not going near any of the airbags. Likewise do the same, pull it across here, keep it going around here, and then got to get it through here. This is going to be a tricky bit, and then get it along here, and that's where I'm going to shove the rear camera. So I'll start getting these put in place. So as I say, I've just got to run the wire along here and across and through. So this is the fiddly bit where you're mucking around with this, and the fiddly bit is getting that little connection there. Of course, I've got to connect it up to this wire, and that's quite chunky. I've got to get it around this area here, which is a bit tight, so wish me luck. wire through. Okay, now I need to just feed these wires up here. And we need to just feed it across. Okay, you got the wire now to the front bit here. So the last bit is now just getting it across into the front. Get the wires in place. This wire now just needs feeding through here and then feeding along here, which is the nice easy bit. Okay, so let's get the wire here. Nice bit of wire. Feed it along. Let's put this paneling back on and then I think we are done. Okay, I've got this piece back in place. Now just time to get these on. Perfect, that's back in place. Put these little plastic clips back on over the back for the front. Back on, the wires are in place. Just shift this little piece in place. Okay, so it's now time just to fix the dash cam on here. Got this little sticky thing which sticks it in here. So we need to get the dash cam, attach it to it. There we go. We'll have it about there. Nice and tidy to the side. Put the wires in place. You should put them first. Smaller one first, and the bigger one behind it. There we go, that's right. It's time to just adjust these wires a little bit so they're in the right space and there's not too much additional wire there. Looks all right there. So there needs to be a bit of space from this and the roof because when you take it off you're pushing it up. So you've got to allow for that. So I'm not going to do it super low. Okay. So I think we'll be fine there. Taking the sticker off ready to stick it and just realised I have not cleaned the screen, so that's not a good idea. Better clean that windscreen first. The last thing you want is to be sticking it on a dirty screen. Let's give it a good clean. Okay, looks good. There we go. And it's stuck on in place. I think we are done. So one more job, got to do the back dash cam as well. Let's put that in place. Okay, so last thing is let's get this one stuck on here. Now you can see it's got the heated glass screen here. So I'm not going to stick on top of the. I'm not going to put some adhesive on the line. So I'm, with that little Stanley blade that I have, I'm going to chop a little bit of an area out of where the adhesive is, so that I don't stick directly on top of those lines. So I'm just going to take a little bit from the bottom line it up nicely. Line it there. Take it from the top, that'll be plenty. And then I'm only going to stick it in that centre piece there, in the centre area. So we tip it off. So as you can see there, I'm just going to stick it in that, hopefully you can see that. Just going to stick it in that section there. There we go. I'm happy with that. So that one's now doing the back and front rear cameras. Now let's test it out. Okay, so now's the moment of truth. Let's turn the engine on. There we go, it's working, all powered up perfectly. Now I just need to adjust it a little bit and do all the settings, so I will do that later. But there we go, it's all fitted. Front and rear dash cam in the BYD SHARK. So how hard is it to do it? It's not too hard, but it's incredibly fiddly taking these pieces off. Taking these things off were the hardest. Mucking around running the wires around the back was a pain. Doing the electrics on it, you know, plugging into the electrics was a little bit fiddly, but not too hard. So yeah, it's a bit of a time-consuming job. I mean, this has taken me a few hours to do this job, which is way too long. You're going to save yourself a few $100s by doing it, so it's probably worthwhile doing it. Hope you found the video useful. Thanks for watching, everyone. And remember to subscribe to the channel. If you've got any other questions in relation to other things you want me to check out on the vehicle, let me know.